Good morning and welcome to Southern Sports Network. I am Lindsay Settlemeyer, here to update you on the latest in Moccasin sports news. The women's tennis team claimed a 5th and 7th place finish on Sunday's tournament at Rollins College. Ironically, the 5th place finish was decided by a mock versus mock matchup as Lorena Rionda defeated her teammate Nina Vucevic 6-1 and 6-3 to claim the victory. The men's soccer team picked up their first conference win of the season with a big 1-0 victory over the University of Tampa last Wednesday. Sophomore defender Carl Spanks nailed a corner kick late in the first half to secure the win. Just a few days later, the Mocs suffered a tough loss against 20th ranked Barry University. The Mocs played tough defense before giving up 2 goals in the last 7 minutes of the game. The men's and women's cross-country team competed in Tallahassee at the Florida State Invitational this past Friday. The men finished in 2nd place among non-Division I schools, while the women took 6th. A pair of freshmen led the pack for the Mocs. Alexa Guerra finished 19th place for the women, and Dean McGregor finished in 11th place for the men. The women's soccer team played against Barry at home this past weekend. The Lady Mocs put on an amazing defense but were defeated 1-0 by Barry. Mocs volleyball's winning streak came to a devastating end as they dropped 2 contested matches on the road last weekend at Eckerd and St. Leo. Despite the loss, Anna Tovo had a combined 23 kills and 26 digs in the 2 games, while Bethany Basanchez added 38 assists and 17 digs to help fuel FSC. Now, I would like to bring on a special guest to give us a mid-season check-in. Our guest today is the Associate Athletic Director for External Relations and has held the position of the college's head athletic trainer for 8 years. I am pleased to welcome Mr. Al Green. This is always to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I am great. It's always a pleasure to be on the show, to say the least, and discuss the wonderfulness and the great things that are happening in athletics.
All right, let's start off with how the volleyball team did have 2 devastating losses this past weekend. How do you think they'll be able to bounce back from that?
I really do feel that they'll bounce back well. Most teams have that stumble. Usually it's good because it helps them, one, take a breath of, okay, we're not fighting to remain undefeated. And that worked real well for the men's basketball team last year when they lost to Barry. So it can be a very, very good thing. I think unfortunately what happened to volleyball this weekend is you have that devastating, shocking loss and you don't have a recovery time because they play the next day. And I think anytime you have that, it makes it a little more difficult to do an immediate bounce back. You know, in the men's basketball case, in other cases like football, you've got a whole week to rethink and get your mind back to where it needs to be. So unfortunately, I believe those will hopefully be our only 2 losses this season for volleyball.
Well, I think so too. Now let's go to a happier note. Men's soccer defeated University of Tampa. That was a huge win. I know for sure.
That was a huge win. We hadn't scored in a couple of games, so that was important. Of course, as you know, soccer is not a high-scoring event anyway. But our team looked really good. They were crisp. They showed well or played very well. Everyone was where everybody knew everyone would be. So it was an excellent game for them. And I think hopefully that will help them build and continue their nice winning streak.
Build up the confidence a little bit, defeating a team. So do you have anything you need to tell me about what more to expect this fall season? Anyone to look at? What are you thinking? What's the vibe you've got?
I think volleyball will bounce back and continue to win. I think women's soccer and men's soccer, who are struggling a little bit right now, will get it together and continue or start to do some more winning. Looking forward to basketball. I think it's a rebuilding year for both teams. And basketball's just around the corner. Official first practice is October 15th. We do have Mock Madness coming up on Monday, October 26th. So I think basketball is looking good. Swimming also starting in a couple of weeks in October. So the winter season is about to be upon us.
Oh, I can feel it in the air. The weather's been great. All right. Well, the fall season is far from over. Be sure to go out to all of your mock sporting events and cheer FSC on to victory. Another special thanks to Al for being on the show today. I'm Lindsay Settlemeyer, and this has been Southern Sports Network. See you next week.